Hello, and welcome to this lesson. This lesson is about expressing the reason with the words as, because, and since. And these words are very important words to use correctly, because if you get them wrong, your English will sound quite strange to a native English speaker. As, because, and since. All three of these words can be used to describe the reason for something. And you may have been told that you can use any of these words. Well, that's not really true. There is an important difference in how you use these words. First, let's look at as and since. As and since are used when the reason is already known to the listener or reader, or when it is not the most important part of the sentence. And usually, as and since clauses come at the beginning of sentences. For example, as the weather was fine, we decided to go to the park. Since sales were down, we developed a new marketing strategy. As can be used at the beginning, like this sentence. As the weather was fine, we decided to go to the park. Or in the middle, like this. We decided to go to the park as the weather was fine. They mean the same thing. But the sentence with since sales were down, we developed a new marketing strategy. Well, that's natural. But when we use since in the middle, we developed a new marketing strategy since sales were down. This one doesn't sound natural at all. Grammatically, it's okay, but since sounds unnatural in the middle. Because is slightly different. It puts more emphasis on the reason. Remember, with since and as, the reason was not the most important thing. With because, the reason is much more important, and because also usually introduces new information which is not known to the listener or reader. The reason is new information. For example, he bought a Ferrari because it was his favorite car. It was his favorite car is new information, and it's the important part of the sentence. Well, here's another example. I decided to go to Osaka because I wanted to try the food there. Where the reason is the most important part of the sentence, the because clause usually comes at the end, but it can also come at the beginning. Either is completely fine. But there is one occasion when you must use the because clause at the end of the sentence. And that is if you are explaining how you or somebody knows something. I know you are holding my book because it has my name in it. We wouldn't say, because it has my name in it, I know you are holding my book. The because clause must be used at the end and not at the beginning, if it explains how somebody knows something. So if you want to use because to express reason, and you always want to know your sentence is correct, make sure you use the because clause at the end of the sentence, not in the beginning. Well, in this lesson, we have covered how to use as, since, and because when we are expressing reason. Just to recap, use as and since when the reason is already known to the listener or reader, or when the reason is not the most important part of the sentence. It's not the most important thing. Using because adds more emphasis to the reason, or it gives new information not known to the listener or reader. And the because clause can be at the beginning or the end of the sentence, but if it explains how somebody knows something, it must be at the end. That's a lot of key points. Please try to remember these when you're speaking English or doing the TOEIC or other tests of English. Well, that's everything for this lesson. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and share it so we can help others who are learning English too. And if you have any questions or comments, please type them below. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next lesson.